Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back to the Household Anchor. Throughout history, the greatest and most impenetrable fortresses did not fall because an invading army battered down their walls. They fell because someone on the inside unlocked the gates. They fell to the Trojan horse. Today, we are talking about the modern Trojan horse in the Muslim household. It does not look like an enemy. It is disguised as a support system. It is disguised as girls' night out, innocent coffee dates, and harmless group chats. We are talking about the toxic social circle, the bitter, resentful, or anti-marriage friends who are actively, often subtly, poisoning your wife's mind, undermining your authority, and destroying the peace of your sanctuary. Many men are watching their homes turn into battlegrounds, and they cannot figure out why. You are providing, you are working hard, you are coming home, yet your wife is suddenly hostile, argumentative, and deeply ungrateful. You are walking on eggshells in the very home you built. Brother, your wife might not be the source of the hostility. She might just be the courier. The poison is being manufactured outside, and you are allowing it to be carried through your front door because you are terrified that society will label you as controlling. Let's get right into today's letter. Assalamu alaikum. I am writing to you because I feel like I am losing my wife, and my marriage is being slowly dismantled by people who don't even live in my house. My wife and I have been married for 7 years. We have a generally good life. I provide a comfortable living. We have 2 beautiful children, and I try my best to be a good Muslim husband. But over the last year and a half, my wife has grown close to a new group of friends. 2 of these women are divorced, and one is chronically single and highly vocal about her independence. Whenever my wife spends the afternoon with them or goes out for coffee, I already know how my evening is going to end. She comes home agitated. She looks at me with a completely different energy, an energy of contempt. Suddenly, she starts using therapy buzzwords she never used before. She talks about her truth, toxic masculinity, and how traditional marriage is inherently oppressive to women. We get into massive arguments over nothing. If I ask her what time she will be home, she accuses me of being controlling. If I ask her to help with the household, she tells me I am treating her like a servant and that her friends' husbands or ex-husbands would never dare speak to them that way. Her friends constantly complain about men. They mock the concept of obedience in marriage. They push her to be more rebellious, telling her she deserves better and that she is settling. I see her changing. She is ungrateful, constantly comparing our lives to the fake realities on social media and treating me like an adversary instead of her partner. I have tried to talk to her about these friends, but she completely shuts down. She says, "You isolate me. You just want to control who I talk to because you are insecure." Brother, I do not want to be a tyrant. I don't want to isolate my wife. But these women are a poison in my home. I am watching my marriage die a death by 1,000 cuts. What do I do? Brother, and to every man who relates to this letter, listen to me very carefully. You are not dealing with a misunderstanding. You are dealing with an active insurgency against your marriage. Misery loves company. This is a fundamental law of human psychology. A woman who is bitter, divorced because of her own rebellion, or incapable of maintaining a healthy, traditional relationship cannot stand to look at a woman who is successfully building a peaceful home. Your wife's stability is a mirror that reflects their own failures. They do not want your wife to be happy. They want her to join their ranks. They want to tear her down to their level of resentment so they can feel validated in their own life choices. And they do this through the Trojan horse of female empowerment. They disguise their venom as advice. They tell her, "You shouldn't have to cook every day. You shouldn't have to ask his permission. You need to establish boundaries." And why is this working? Because you, the husband, have abandoned your protective jealousy. You have abandoned your Gheerah. Modern society has completely weaponized the word controlling. They have shamed men into believing that if you have standards, if you have boundaries regarding who influences your family, you are insecure and abusive. So you sit back, you bite your tongue, you let venomous snakes whisper into your wife's ear for hours every day on WhatsApp, and you say nothing because you want to be the cool, modern husband. Look at the absolute chaos it has brought you. You traded your divine authority for the approval of society, and the cost was the peace of your own home. Let us return to our ultimate baseline, the Qur'an and the authentic Sunnah. Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, gives a direct command to the head of the household in Surah At-Tahrim, verse 6. O you who have believed, protect yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is people and stones. Qur'an chapter 66, verse 6. Protecting your family from the fire does not just mean telling them to pray. It means actively guarding their hearts, their minds, and their environment from corruption. If a man walked into your living room and started pouring physical poison into your family's water supply, would you sit back and say, "Well, I don't want to be controlling"? Of course not. You would remove the threat. Mental and spiritual poison is no different. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, outlined a profound psychological truth when he said, "A man is upon the religion of his best friend, so let one of you look at whom he befriends." Sunan Abi Dawud 48:33. This applies to women just as much as men. You cannot surround yourself with people who despise marriage and expect to have a healthy marriage. You cannot surround yourself with people who mock the laws of Allah and expect to maintain a tranquil Islamic home. Furthermore, Islam specifically categorizes what these friends are doing as one of the most destructive sins imaginable. It is called takbib, the act of turning a wife against her husband or a husband against his wife. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said with absolute clarity, "He is not one of us who turns a wife against her husband." Sunan Abi Dawud 51:70. He is not one of us. Think about the weight of those words. These friends are engaging in a major sin, dismantling a sacred covenant. As the Qawwam, the protector and maintainer of the home, you are not just permitted to intervene, it is your divine obligation to do so. The Prophet, peace be upon him, established that one of the fundamental rights a husband has over his wife is that she does not allow anyone he dislikes into his home. This extends to her time, her attention, and her digital space. So, how do you fix this? How do you neutralize the Trojan horse without destroying the city in the process? Here is the step-by-step tactical playbook to reclaim the borders of your household. Step 1. The audit. You must identify exactly where the poison is coming from. It is rarely the entire friend group. It is usually one or two highly vocal, highly toxic individuals. You need to know exactly who is planting the seeds of rebellion. Pay attention to who she is texting right before she starts an argument. Pay attention to who she just had coffee with when she comes home complaining about her life. Identify the source. Step 2. The confrontation and the pivot. You do not approach this while you are arguing. You do not shout. You wait for a moment of complete calm. You sit your wife down, look her directly in the eye, and you speak with absolute, unshakable conviction. You say, "I love you and I value our marriage, but over the last year I have watched the peace drain out of our home. I have watched you become angry, agitated, and resentful. And it happens every single time you engage with these specific friends. They do not want our marriage to succeed. They are projecting their misery onto you, and I will no longer allow them to destroy what we have built. She will likely get defensive. She will use the word controlling. She will say you are isolating her. Step 3. The iron veto. When she pushes back, you do not lose your temper. You hold your frame. You calmly reply, I am not stopping you from having friends. I am stopping the enemies of this marriage from having access to my wife. As your husband, and before Allah, I have the right to protect our home. These specific individuals are no longer welcome in our lives. You are not to invite them here, and you are to distance yourself from them. This is not a negotiation. This is a boundary for the survival of our marriage. Brother, you must be prepared for the storm. She will test this boundary. But if you stand like a mountain, if you remain calm but entirely immovable, the storm will eventually break. Women respect strength. They respect a man who values his marriage enough to fiercely defend it. Step 4. Fill the void. This is the most critical step. If you remove her social circle, you cannot leave a vacuum. If you take away the poison, you must replace it with nourishment. You must step up as her companion. Take her out. Spend quality time with her. Listen to her. Plan the weekend getaways. Encourage her to reconnect with righteous, grounded women who value family and deen. Build a fortress of love and attention around her so strong that she realizes those toxic friends offered her nothing but misery. Brother, a shepherd does not apologize for chasing the wolves away from the flock. Stop letting society dictate how you protect your home. Reclaim your Gheerah. Reclaim your protective jealousy. Draw the borders of your marriage in thick, black ink and stand guard at the gates. If this message sharpened your perspective, hit the subscribe button and stand with us. Send your specific challenges, your stories, or your situations to thehouseholdanchor@gmail.com. Total anonymity is always guaranteed. Let me know in the comments how you handle outside influences in your marriage and how you maintain your boundaries. Keep your frame, hold your boundaries, and be the anchor of your household. Assalamu alaikum.